Up everybody, welcome to WooWoo Wednesday. So this day kind of sucked. Even though it didn't suck, it definitely sucked. Did some very painful soft tissue work with the ghetto boomstick, in through my scaps and into my hips and all of that shit, and it's just got everything opened up just fine, but it was painful and it kind of fucked me up a little bit. Went into the gym with a great mood. That stuff sent me to some ugly places because of having to deal with how bad it hurt. So I had a hard time this day, I'm not going to lie, with just even wanting to stay. I wanted to leave. I was kind of pissed off for most of the workout and I wanted to quit. And it doesn't help that this whole day now is centered around all the things that I'm terrible at. And so then having to keep my head into what I was doing and not turn into a moody bitch, although I kind of still turned into a moody bitch. I did. Ask Anisha. It was still an okay day now that I'm 2 days removed from it and not nearly as moody or bitchy. So I worked on some groundwork. I did some coiling, tried a few new things. Nothing really felt quite right. And again, I'll attribute a lot of this to my mood. So I mostly just sped everything up so you can kind of see the different kinds of things that I did, because each of these had moments of like that, wanting to just die and quit on the floor. So I didn't even honestly want to post any of this stuff, but I figured for the sake of being honest and forthright, this is how some of the training days go. The crawling was particularly difficult. That's why I ended up working on so many different variations of it, and I'm still not positive if I'm even doing the pattern correctly. But shit, dude, some of this just really fucks with my brain. I have a hard time, particularly in the backwards versions, and it's just really, really, really difficult and frustrating. And as I was sitting here failing at basic shit that already feels remedial and makes me feel kind of like a dumbass, it got to me. So this was not the best attitude that I've brought into a workout, but I will commend myself on not giving up and wanting to quit, or not actually quitting even though I wanted to the whole time. So here's some of the weird shit. I did get the forward crawl better and the backwards one down on the knees. That just took a lot of work. And yeah, this is just some of the movements that we're doing. So it's all regressive things, all more like developmental type movements, types of rolling and crawling and twisting and groundwork and things like that. Things that I've been doing some reading and research into, the stages of development and movement development and how those things also correlate with cognitive development and things like that. And there are some places that are finding that certain movement deficiencies are correlated to certain learning disabilities or sensory issues. And so I'm wanting to also experiment with some of these things, because I'll be training Toby again starting this weekend here, and I'm wanting to put together some series of basic movements for him, because he is on the autism spectrum and did not actually crawl at all. He went straight into walking and stood up and started walking around at 9 months old. And so with some of the things that I've been reading about with regards to skipping those different developmental stages and the abilities that you are practicing through the crawling stage and into walking and all of those, they actually correlate with sensory processing disorders like autism. So it's no wonder that I'm also struggling with some of these things, but I'm also using it as an opportunity to start working through some of these movements with him. I think we have some similar coordination issues, and if I'm willing to encourage him to keep working on those things, then I shouldn't give up on them myself. So I'm going to keep working on them on the Wednesday day, and then on Sundays when I'm in with him at the gym, I'll probably end up doing them again with him, because I can turn it into a game. And as I already know, maybe you don't, you learn best when you're playing. So why not have some fun flopping around on the floor with him instead of trying to treat it like a bunch of strategery like on this day here. So I'm hoping that not taking myself so seriously while we're just enjoying being active together, I think that will be in the long run a better way for me to approach learning these kinds of movements. So we'll see. But I did get some things to shift around. This was the first good set of jumps where the compression squats and the work with the Bosu and everything really started to reposition my hips, and the jumping felt much more explosive, and you can see I'm actually pushing off of my legs to leave the ground. That was not the case for most of the sets. So got some of this coordinated here. Again, this is mostly just kind of frustrating and difficult on my brain. Felt like I couldn't get any of my body parts to do anything that I wanted them to do without too much work. So that was decent. Moving over into the running work and the gait mechanics and things, I did a few variations of some things on the Bosu ball, similar to this, where I'm practicing the exchange in weight between the 2 feet during a running cycle and trying to switch between each hip without losing my pelvis position. So you can see that I find a groove pretty decently here after a little while. And was able to carry that over into the running here. So this went a lot better than last week, although still looked derpy to me if I'm judging myself, but the running felt much better than last week. I felt a lot lighter on my feet, and I was able to get a decent stride, at least for the first 2 rounds, or first 3 or 4, something like that. I ended up doing 6 total. On the very last one, I definitely overstrided and gave myself a little zinger in my left hamstring, which didn't necessarily help with the moody bitch nature, but I was able to get it to calm back down, and what I was actually feeling was my left hamstring coming back online rather than it getting strained. So this being now 2 days later, my posture and everything feels much better, and I actually think that the running work, despite me being a asshole, ended up helping to correct some posture. So I'm glad that I didn't quit, and I'm going to continue to work on this shit every week. So that's it. See you later. Bye.